Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to our assignment. I'm going to go ahead and save this one right here real quick. And we are going to open. And by the way, you guys don't have to turn in your walk cycle with a turntable or just a plain play blast of the walk cycle should be more than enough. Cool. All right, so let's go to open, and we left off as animation start. Continue. Here we go. Okay, so it looks like I'm gonna go to my 2 view. Let me go ahead and reset this real quick. So let me move the participant window to the side. Yeah, you're welcome, Noah. I'm gonna have the chat on this side right here. Let me stop sharing real quick. Because where is Maya? Come. Okay. All right, I have to wait for this what's new highlights to go away. And it's not going away. All right, so I'm gonna go to my animation. I have the attribute editor, fantastic, and I have my 2 views, fantastic. Okay, let me quickly set up the project, set project. Walk cycle. And let's go ahead and open scene. Start, fantastic. Okay, so this is where we left off last week. I've noticed that for some reason this image is stretching. So I'm gonna quickly fix that. I'm gonna go to my walk cycle cart, select it, and I'm gonna go to the hypershade to figure out why this is doing that. And this is our image plane. Let's go ahead and if I select the image plane shader and then I click on my show input and output, I will get my left side, which is what I need. This right here. Remember, guys, you navigate these windows. Anytime you guys see a flat window in Maya, it's an orthographic view. So Alt, middle mouse button to pan, Alt, right mouse button to zoom. And here, as soon as I select this, in my attribute editor, I'm going to get the attributes for my render node. Okay, this is called a render node, a node that will be rendered, and is the file render node. That's how I was able to bring that file. And the place 2D is what controls the height and the location of this guy. So I think it was on the Y. This should be 4.25. All right, and that fixed it right there. Perfect. I'm gonna save this guy right here. And this is done. And we're gonna start animating. I'm gonna go to my 2 view right here. So let's go to this view right here. And instead of the front, I want my right view. And this is going to be my perspective. So I'm gonna select this guy. First of all, let's go ahead and lock the walk cycle. Perfect. All right. So not able to select it. All I want to do is select all of my controllers. And we're going to hit F. All right. First thing that we're going to do today is we're going to create a button in our animation shelf. So if I go to animation, this is our animation shelf right here. I can create a generic shelf by going to shelf editor. And I'm on the, remember, left-hand side are your shelves, right-hand side is the shelf content. And this is how you move shelves up and down, right? And this is how you create a shelf. This is how you delete a shelf. Same thing here with the content of the shelves. So you move them up and down, you delete the content of the shelves, or you add a new item or you delete the item. In this case, we're gonna go right here on the new shelf. And this new shelf, shelf layout 2, I'm gonna call this one, let's call it animation Frank. Okay. and save all shelves. It's empty because I don't have anything here, but here it is, Animation Frank. If I want to move it towards the front, shelf editor, select the up arrow, and it will move it to the very front. Click save all shelves at the end. This is also found right here, save all shelves. All right, so we're gonna do a little bit of coding today. And to do that, I need to bring in my command line. So I'm gonna go spacebar in any of the views, and I'm gonna click on the right-hand side, on the right quadrant. And I'm gonna bring in my command line. And that is because at the end of the bottom right of the command line, I have our script editor. So when I click on the script editor, I'm gonna get the script editor, right? And so this right here is what, when you guys do something, you select this right here, or you select this, or you select this, or you do, whatever you do, it gets recorded. It's like the history window in Photoshop. The bottom is where the script gets written, copied, or pasted. And we have MEL and Python. MEL stands for My Electronic Language. Python, it's a coding language that's been around for a while. So what I want you guys to know about this is that under under history, we want to turn on what's called echo all commands. All right. So echo all commands, what it's going to do, whatever I do, it'll record it, but it'll record the command, not what I'm doing, but the entire command. So if I select this, it records the whole command. I want to get rid of batch render messages and line numbers in errors. Okay. All right. I want to see what it does without echo all commands. I stand corrected. Let's go ahead and disable echo all commands. I want the actual action. Yeah. That's what I want to do. Okay. Right here, you have, upload, save, scripts, right? And then put this button, the fourth button right here is put the script on the shelf. I'll show you guys a different way to do that. These are the guys that we want to look at. This deletes the top, the history, and this deletes the bottom, which is the input, okay, where we write our code. And this does both. So now, which is really weird because echo all command records everything that I do. So when we set keys, what we want to do is we want to key all of the controllers simultaneously, even if we don't do anything to the main controller, right? Even if we do anything to one of the legs controller or the body controller, we want to select all of the controllers, 1, 2, 3, and 4, okay? And we want to set a key to all of them. Now, this is an optical illusion. When you guys select the main controller, you guys think that, oh, I've selected this controller, and this controller, but that's not true. Let me demonstrate it. If I go to frame 1 and I select the main controller and I set a key, which is, and I always told you guys this from the Intro Maya classes, and in this class, never hit S. S is set a key to everything. Now we can set S. Why? Because we have locked and hidden everything that we do not want to key, okay? So when we hit S, we're only going to set keys to whatever is visible. Everything that's not visible will not be, we will not create a key for. So if I hit S, the main controller has been keyed, right? You guys see all the red lines, that stands for a key. And at frame 1, you see a key. But look what happens when I select my right foot controller. There are no keys. You guys can see that in the timeline and in your channel box. Same thing for the left foot. And same thing for the body controller. So when you guys select the main controller, the reason why everything turns green, right? And if I was to deselect, let me do this right here, right? Make sure that this, I just want to make sure that the body is not selectable. Okay, this means that this, the right foot, left foot, and the body controller turn green because they are the children of the main controller. So when you select the parent, the children light up green. They're not selected. So we want to create a button up here where we can select, when we select this button, all of the controllers get selected, and then we can set a key and all of the controllers would get keys. So let's delete the history and the input. and we're gonna do that, okay? So select by clicking on the background, select clear. I cleared the selection, okay? So this guy right here will be at the end. So we're gonna select the main controller, and in your history it says select -R placement controller, okay? Then we're gonna select the left foot, then we're gonna select the right foot, and then the body controller, and everything has been recorded. So to write this, you're gonna select all of these guys right here, and then you're gonna hold middle mouse button, and you're gonna drag them to your mail. And then we're gonna select this guy right here, the last one, and we're gonna drag that at the very bottom. Hit return, so this is right here. And we're gonna test it out. First of all, I wanna select this guy right here. Are you shift? No, I'm not shift selecting anything, Elizabeth. I'm just doing a click and drag. And then I hold middle mouse, and then I drag it over here, okay? To delete these guys, you select them, hit delete. And yeah, no middle mouse. So what I did is to select them so I can put it in my history, I select one, okay, and then I select the other one, and then I select the other one, and then I select the other one. Now, do not select them with the shift because it's going to add the word shift right here, and it could be problematic. Just what are you doing? You're going this. I'm selecting the main controller. I'm selecting the right controller, the left foot controller, and then the body controller. Okay. All right. Now, when I click, and I'm going to delete this guys right here. And now when I click, you have to empty it, delete it right here. And then when I click right here, I get the selection clear the selection. So I'm putting that one at the end because what I want to do when I click this button is going to select this guy, then this guy, then this guy, then this guy, and then is going to clear them. Okay. So I want to get rid of the select clear. Sorry about that. All right. Now, how do we put that as a button right up here? You select these guys right here, and then you can click on the fourth button right here, which is save the script to the shelf. And we're gonna name this one CTRL for control _ all. So all controllers, controls all. Okay, I'm gonna hit OK, and there it is. Okay, it put it right up here. Another way of doing this is you select your code, middle mouse drag it, boom, and there it is. The only thing about this is that you have to go edit, and then under shelves, you have to rename it, okay? Now, I like doing this. Let me explain why. Because this is going to be called select all controllers. Or you guys see how the name is hard to read? So you can go C all for all, you know, or all _ C, all controllers, okay? What I like about using the shelf editor to name it is because under tooltip, I can write down what this is all about. So here I can go selects all of the controllers, right? I'm gonna hit save, and I want to show you guys the difference. We don't need the script editor. Well, let's leave it right here for now. So this one right here, oops, did I not name that correctly? Go to edit. Rename. Oh, sorry guys. The rename is renaming this. I forgot the name, icon name, icon label. That's what, okay. So all _ C, okay. And then save all shelves. Give me 1 second. So this guy selected the last one for some reason. Okay, let's go to delete. Huh. Okay, 1 second. What did I do wrong? One second, guys. I think I screwed up. Now that I have Elizabeth question in my head, I think I did make that mistake. Select this guy, shift select the other ones. You're right. Absolutely right. Let's give it a test, okay? Put it right here. Put it right here. I'm gonna test it out. Deselect everything. Yes, absolutely right, Elizabeth. I was wrong. I completely forgot. You have to hold shift. That is the difference Yeah. Because you're recording your action, which is holding shift. I was thinking of rigging. There's a thing in rigging that we do where you don't want to hold shift because it adds the shift and it can damage it. Okay, so let's quickly fix this. Oops, stop. All right, we'll take a break real quick. So I'm gonna edit this and go back to shelves. Leave this, don't rename this. Just you guys can rename it. This is just the code, whereas everything else it'll say to blah blah blah. Here you guys can rename this and just select all controllers, right? That's the name of you. This is going to be the new name for this tool that you guys created. And then under label, this will be all underscore C for controllers. And then under the tooltip, selects all of the controllers. Okay, that's your tooltip. I'm going to hit save. And then when you guys move your mouse over the item, it is going to give you the information, the tooltip. Select all of the controllers, okay? So now I'm going to test it out. So I'm going to click this, and I'm going to hit S for setting a key. Let's do this one more time. S, not Z. And now I'm going to go to each controller. I'm going to select the main controller. Everything got keyed. Left foot controller. Everything got keyed. Remember, the gray ones are just spacing. Right controller. Everything got keyed. Body controller. Everything got keyed. Perfect. So what I would do next, sometimes you are animating on the side view. And here's a great example. You cannot select the right controller because the main controller is selected here. So what I would do, I would create a button for the left foot controller. This one, you can use middle mouse, drag it here. I think we can do it directly. Now, when you do that, when you go directly from the history to here, it's going to ask you Mel or Python. You can select Mel. And then this one, edit. And then this guy, you can call this one left foot controller. I'm going to select the same thing, put it under my tooltip, selects the, and then use English, guys, don't use my language. And then selects the left foot controller, and this will be left underscore C for left controller. Left foot controller, okay? All right. And then you click on Save All Shelves. So when you're on the side view and you cannot select the left controller, you just go right here, boom, and as you guys can see, the left foot controller selected. So I would do one for the left foot, I would do one for the right foot, and then I would do one individually for the top of the body. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and take a 15-minute break. Come back at 5:30, get some liquids, use the bathroom, and then we shall continue in 15 minutes. I'll see you guys at 5:30. Okay, still got 5 more minutes. So what I'm gonna do, something real quick. See if I can do this. Canvas size as it be pixels. 256 by 256. All right, I'm gonna see. So left foot controller. I'm gonna go to edit and icon width. Let's find this right here. So select this guy right here. I'm gonna quickly do this one's right here. Clear this up, select this guy, and put here. Seriously? Select this guy, middle mouse drag it right here. Edit. And okay, so I'm going to show you guys a couple of cool things that you can do with these icons right here. So I created the right foot controller. So this will be my right foot controller, right? And then what I'm going to do here, 1 second, I don't need this spacing. See, okay. And then what I'm going to do is here, I'm going to go select the right foot controller, right? That's going to be my tooltip. And then for my label, is going to be right_C for controller. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share Photoshop real quick. All right. So stop sharing. Let's go to Photoshop. I thought I had Photoshop open. Yes. Okay. And I'm going to create a very simple image. So let's go ahead and close this guy right here. All right. I'm going to go to new. I'm going to create just a simple 1000 by 1000 grid, but I'm going to change this to 256 by 256. Okay. So I want a square. I'm going to click on create. And I took a screen grab of my character in Maya. I went to Maya, I did a screen grab of the foot, and then I'm gonna open that image. I'm gonna go to open, I'm gonna browse to the desktop, and it should be this guy right here, okay? So I'm gonna select this, copy it, I'm gonna paste it right here, scale it up a little bit, right there. Remember guys that at the bottom, you're gonna have the letter, the what it is. So make sure that you guys give yourself a little bit of room right here. I'm going to paint this gray, and what it can also do, just touch it up, whatever you guys want to do to make it more. Don't worry too much about this because you're not going to be able to see any of this detail. Okay, and I'm going to flatten this image and I'm going to save it just on the desktop. And this one is going to be my right foot controller PNG. Okay, so right foot controller, that's going to be PNG. Save it. All right, let's go ahead and hide Photoshop. I'm going to go to stop sharing, and let's go ahead and share Maya right now. And for this controller, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find this icon. So icon name, I'm going to click here. I'm going to go to this is the path where you guys are going to find your icons. But I quickly created this one. What I tend to do is I save my icons in this folder right here. So this is in your for a Mac, it's in your library, preferences, Autodesk Maya 2020, the version, preferences, and then icons. On a Windows, is under your documents, Autodesk, Maya, and same path after that, Maya version, preferences, and icons, okay? And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to my computer right here, and I'm gonna go to desktop and right foot control, okay? Gonna click on open, and that's it. Here's the icon. I'm gonna save the shells. And now I have something that is more visual. You guys see that? So left foot controller, right foot controller, okay? And then the last controller that I would do, again, it would be the body controller. And again, very, very simple. I'll go right here like this, okay? I'm going to do a screen grab like so, right? I'm going to go to Photoshop. And of course, I hit it because that's how I roll. So let's go back to Photoshop. Okay, close the sharing. Go back to sharing. Photoshop. All right, and I'm just gonna select all copy, new, so I can get the same dimension, 256 by 256. I'm going to open this screen grab right here that I did. Select all copy. Then I'm gonna paste this guy right here. And I may do something like this for this guy right here. I may go with a bigger line. I'm gonna select this yellow, and I'm just gonna create a gigantic version of my controller, right? So make sure that flow is 100%, right? So I may do this right here. And then I'm going to, let's go to our brushes, just get rid of all this stuff. And for my brushes, I'm gonna select heart round. And let's go ahead and do that. Set it at 0. All right. Select the whole thing. Let's go ahead and move this guy. Oops. Put this guy up here like this. All right. It's a quick visual representation, right? Let's go ahead and save this guy right here. And we're going to call this one body controller. All right, PNG, we're going to save this right here. Okay. Let's go back to Maya. And again, you can edit an existing one, right? But what I want to do is create a new one. So again, script editor, clear both top and bottom. Select this guy. It's been selected. I'm going to middle mouse drag it here, and then middle mouse drag it right here. Right mouse button, edit. And then again, this is select body controller, right? Select the whole thing, copy, put it in the tooltips, right? Selects the body controller, dot, 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 icon level, body undersea controller. And then for that icon, do the same thing as before. Desktop. And let's go to a body controller. And then there you have it, okay? So this is really, really helpful because it allows you to select all of the controllers, select the left foot, right foot, and then the body controller when they're on the way and all that stuff, okay? And then at the end of the day, make sure that you guys save all your shelves. Okay, and I'm gonna save this scene. Okay, so I'm gonna quickly look in the participant windows, clear all comments. Are there any questions so far, ladies and gentlemen? You guys find this helpful? Fantastic, awesome. All right, fantastic. Okay, so let's keep going. So right, what we're gonna do next is we're going to, now that we have the ability to do this, wow, I am zoomed in right here. So let me zoom out until we get frames, perfect, okay. Move this guy right here. I may have problems with my animation curves, not a big deal. Okay, so the last comment on the chat room was Elizabeth holding shift. Okay, fantastic. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna start, continue our animation. I'm gonna turn on my walk cycle card. All right, let's talk about the theory, how we're gonna do this. So we have our very first pose. We need to create the pose. Again, I'm gonna click on all controllers, right? And I'm gonna hit S for setting keys. And I like to double check just to make sure that that shortcut worked. And we did. I went through every single one of the controllers and they were all keyed. So now I know for sure my first pose has been key throughout. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna work on our down shot pose. We're gonna then work on the what's called the passing pose. This is what a breakdown pose, which is the in between. Don't use the word in between, Frank. Is the middle frame between two key poses. So our key poses, to show people a basic walk cycle, all you need is your contact pose. When people see this pose right here, we go, yep, this character is walking. No doubt about it, right? Nobody's gonna go, no, this character is moonwalking. Wait, this character is doing the splits. This is a symbol for walking. So when you guys look at your animation right here, you will, my middle mouse button doesn't work now. There you go. I think my tablet, which is sad because I love this tablet. I've had this tablet for almost 12 years. It's my favorite tool and it's just dying. I don't know if it's the cable or the insides. Our key poses are going to be your contact poses, okay? To make it more specific, then you use your breakdown poses, which are the pose in the middle of your key. So from contact at frame 1, 13, and 25, we have the frame at 7 and 19. Those are passing poses. So what a breakdown pose means, it's a pose that breaks the difference between the first and the second pose. So pose A and pose B. So your breakdown is going to be, something in the middle. Now there are 3 basic types of movements, and I'll explain that more later on. You have your easy ins, where you have a slow beginning of the animation and then it goes faster. And then you have your easy out, when you come from a fast movement and then you slow down. Your third type of animation is your continuous animation. Walk cycles are continuous animation. It's a single steady beat. There's no slowing in and slowing out. That's why at the end of our animation, when we select our main controller's Z translation, which is going to be the movement of our character, right? You will notice that the Z translation curve for the main controller, right? And for the body, because we have to move the body forward, right? But on the Z curve for the main controller is going to be a steady linear movement, okay? When you have an easy in, the character slows down at the beginning and then it goes fast. When you have an easy out, then you have a fast movement, and then your character slows out. There's actually 3 types of basic animations. And the other one is a combination of the easy in, easy out. Easy in, fast movement, easy out, okay? And some people argue that that there's more than that, but it's down to 3 basic types of animation. That's why I'm going to explain to you guys in the other classes, and especially in the 2D drawing class, Dart 162 next week, we're going to talk about animation annotations, and we'll talk about how to write easy ins, easy outs, easy in, easy out, and then a steady, even paced animation. This walk cycle is considered an even paced animation, right? And you guys will notice this because on our keys, right, we're going to have a drawing what we, at frame. By the way, I have to fix these guys. I keep making the same mistake. These guys on the top are great. These guys are actually flipped. So frame 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're animating in ones, okay? During our break, I'll fix this. I have to redraw this from scratch. This whole thing of flipping things in Photoshop, sometimes it's not helpful at all. Okay, so let's keep talking about theory. So what we're gonna do, I want you guys to observe this, that contact at frame 1 and contact at frame 25 is the same pose. So the only thing that's gonna change is gonna be the main controller's Z movement. The curve on the Z direction for the main controller is going to be, if I select the main controller right here, right? My translate Z is going to be a straight line. So if I select this guy right here, and then at frame 25, I move this guy right here, right? Okay. For our translate Z, and I set a key, okay? You guys will notice that this curve right here is wrong. This is a typical easy in, easy out curve. I'll show you guys how to do this. We're going to straighten this as a linear curve. And that is because our character, as you guys can see, if I hit play, is going to move like that, okay? It's going pretty fast right now, but that's because if I go right here and I select this guy right here, and then a frame 25, right? But we're not animating correctly, okay? But you guys will notice that it's a constant, steady movement, 24 frames per second. That is correct. Save. All right. And if I hit play, our character is going to move like this, okay? And okay, so here we go. So this is steady movement. All right, so I'm going to go to frame 25. I'm going to delete it, 0. All right. And we're going to start, what we're going to do is we're going to do a lot of copying and pasting. So that being said, you guys will agree with me that frame 13 is the same pose, but opposite. Whatever you guys have for frame, for the right leg, right? So if I select my right controller, right? And the right controller, the only thing that we have keyed on the right controller, later on, we're going to have a lot of stuff right here because we have to move the transformation. The right controller is going to move. But at frame 13, the left foot controller from here down, the only thing that's going to change is that this information will be applied to the left foot, and whatever the left foot is will be applied to the right foot. Okay? So remember, frame 1 and frame 25, same pose, identical. Everything will be the same except for our translate Z. And then at frame 13, it's just the mirror. Same thing for the down pose. At frame 4 and frame 16, they're identical, but they are mirror. The right foot, it's in the back at frame 4. And then at frame 16, the right foot is towards us. Same thing with the passing pose at 7 and 19. They're identical poses, but reverse. Okay? So we're going to cheat by creating these poses right here. And then when we do the other poses, we're going to analyze these guys right here, and we're going to copy the numbers from one side to another side. Okay? So we're going to do these poses today. And I'm going to start with my down pose. So remember, we have the ability to move our image plane. Okay? So once you create this pose right here, you want to go to your next pose, okay? So I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to leave it where it was because I just need this as a pose. I'm not going to trace it. The image plane is not the same. So whoops, let's do that real quick. Okay, so we have frame 1 taken care of. If I select all my controllers, they're all keyed, okay? Let me go to frame 25 and let's go ahead and then right mouse button, delete. Okay, want to make sure that there's no other frames. Perfect. And you guys can see there's no other frames because everything is at frame 1. Okay, let's go to frame 4. So at frame 4, right? And that's one of the beauties about 3D animation. We don't have to worry about frame 2 and 3. The computer's going to do it for us, okay? We're going to use 2 and 3 later on to do our toe flops, our stretch and squash, and all that stuff. Okay, so at frame 4, I move my time slider to frame 4, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of my controllers, and I'm going to hit S. I'm going to create the same pose. Make sure, ladies and gentlemen, at the bottom right of your user interface that your auto key is on. Because now, when I move this guy, oops, let me select the top controller. When I move this guy, right, it's going to change, as you guys can see right here, it is going to change my keys, okay? That's what auto key does. Okay, so let's quickly do that. I'm going to go right here. All right, first thing that I'm going to do, it is my down pose. So for the down pose, what happens is that our body's going to go down. We are going to move forward. But before we do that, I want to select my left foot controller. And for the heel roll, it's going to go down to 0. Boom. Okay? We're going to select the body. We're going to move it forward. We want all of the weight, okay, to be on this foot right here. Don't worry about the right foot yet, all right? So for the right foot, we'll take care of it. Now, when we go to our front view, let me switch this camera to my front view. Remember, we are moving all of the weight on the left foot. So we want to move this guy right here, okay? And we want to also rotate it like so, okay? So as you guys can see, if I go perspective, hit F, this is what's happening. We're leaning on our left foot, okay? So from the top view, it's kind of hard to see, but we're leaning. So we are, let me go back to frame 1, okay? This was our pose. Our body was twisted. And then here, now we need to fix the twist, okay? Because when we go on our up pose, okay, from the contact, right, which our body is leaning away, right? We're looking, if we're the character, we're looking towards the right. You guys remember that we twisted the body this way, right? At frame on the passing pose, where our hips are going to be straight. So what's happening right now is that if you guys look at the hips right here, okay, the hip has rotated on the Y -20. So if at this contact we are -20, and here our rotated Y is going to be 0, this has to be -10, half of it. So this may sound very mathematical, but at frame 4, for my rotation on the Y, I'm going to type in -10, okay? Because remember, at the passing pose, it'll be rotate 0. We go from -20, -10, 0. Here on the up, right, we're going to have 10, and then here we're going to have 20. So we went from on the rotation of the ball of the body, -20, 20 at frame 13, and then -20 at 25. Okay. All right. So here, let's go to our pose. All right. So we moved all of our weight as much as we can. Again, use your drawings. Ask yourself, is this right? That looks about right. Okay. So I can move this guy a little bit forward more. Okay. So what's going on with our toe? Let's move this guy a little bit this way. Okay. So the right foot has to be flat. So let's select the right foot. So let's go to the ball roll, type in 0. That's not right. Right foot. Ball roll. Type in 0. Okay, and what we need to do, the foot's still there, okay, is we need to go to heel roll, but ball roll, 1 second. I am here, right? Okay, so what's going on? Ball roll. Why is this not? Okay, toe pivot. No, that's the left to right. Toe flop. Right. Okay. Ball roll was 45. Okay, let's go to negative 45. No. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna rotate this guy. E for rotation. No, that's not right. 1 second, guys. I need to figure out what's going on with this. Move this guy down. Let's go to frame 1. Okay, for this guy, ball roll. Okay, I'm gonna go here. And heel roll. One second. That's a heel roll. That's a ball roll. So I thought I could do ball roll. That's the ball roll. Okay. I'm gonna start the movement, but I want to be able to go to my ball roll. Sorry guys, I haven't figured this out yet. There we go. I want this right here, right? And I want my toe flop. Okay, perfect. I'm just looking at the drawing. Remember, I'm working right here. All right, so maybe my toe ball is too much. Let's go right here. Remember, even numbers, try close, don't go 0.3s, point that. So toe flop, let's go for a 60. Let's see what we get right here. Okay, it's a nice little bending. All right, and then I'm going to move this guy up like this. Okay. All right, so let's go from here to here. Give me 1 second. Move this guy back. Let me select this guy right here. I think I'm a little bit too forward. Select this guy right here. Let's go 0 on the translate. No. 1 second. So this is negative copy. And then I'm going to go here. And then let's go ahead and paste it. So I need to move this forward until I get that band right there. You guys see this band right here? I'm trying to compare this line here. So then what I do is I go from here to here. Okay. So right here, the foot goes into the ground. You guys see that? This is fine here. It goes into the ground and then it goes up. So we're gonna fix that. We're gonna have this guy kind of go up a little bit sooner when we adjust our keys. All right, so we have this pose. I think I'm kind of happy with this pose. I'm gonna observe now from the front view. I'm gonna do this movement right here. I think I could probably go out more this way. Okay. I'm looking at my foot, the red foot, and make sure that this is parallel to this, parallel to this, the foot is parallel. And I like to scrub back and forth. You guys see that? I'm with my left mouse button, I'm scrubbing. All right. If the lean is too much, I'm always gonna fix it. Okay, this is frame 4. All right, let's go ahead and do the passing pose. So left foot still down on the ground, the body's now forward. So we're gonna go to frame 7, select all of the controllers and hit S. Just to make sure, select all of the controllers, hit S, okay? At frame 4, I'm also gonna hit S, make sure that I keyed everything. Okay, let's now sculpt our passing pose. Passing pose is very easy. So you're going to move, select the body controller. Now, as you guys can see, don't worry about the red foot. I'm gonna go right here. Okay, you guys can do this. I'm gonna go up, right? You want a little bit of bending on the knee, okay? And we know for sure that the body, the rotation, the rotate on Y is gonna be 0, okay? And at this point, we're a little bit more on top of this. And we are lifting. Okay, then remember we have the up pose. So we're beginning to lift the leg up. So I'm gonna rotate this on the Z direction a little bit more, which means that I have to sculpt this guy forward, pop the knee, and then push it back. All right, let's work on the right foot. Right foot, let's just select the right foot. Let's just move it like this. And then I'm gonna try not to move it up, okay? Because if you don't need to move it up, don't add that key. Let's go to the ball. Let's move the ball like this. Okay, which means that I have to move this guy back. Look at your negative space, a little triangle right here. Okay. And I'm gonna select my ball flop and I'm gonna flop it backwards. And it does look like I may have to move this guy up. Okay, select it, W, move it up. And then scrub from frame 4. How do you like that? So the knee's popping a little bit. So I'm gonna push this guy down ever so slightly. Okay. So from here to here to here, okay? All right, I'm not rotating down, okay? Because our hips don't rotate down. They just rotate, as you guys can see, from here to here, okay? You guys see how the body shifts. We're beginning to lean. And then as soon as we go up, we have to have our weight almost on top of this foot. Some people may even say, put it dead on top of it. But for us, that looks pretty good. Okay, let's do our up pose. Select this guy right here. We're gonna move it. So we're gonna do this guy right here now. Okay, so for the up pose is almost the same thing, but we know that our hip is going to be straight. For our rotate on the Z direction, let's type in 0. Okay. We're going to move our foot up by selecting the left foot. And let's try the ball roll. Do the same angle as this foot right here. You guys see that? This angle here and this angle here, which allows us to move the body up and forward like this. So now the entire weight is on top of our ball. Okay, I'm happy with this. Now what's going on here? This is going to go somewhere around here. Toe flop will be, leave it there. Let's go to ball roll, type in 0. Too much, so let's go like here. Toe flop, bring this one up. Almost straight, right? Because the toe is going to go up here. Okay, so let's bring this guy up right about here, and let's move this one, W. We'll move it. I'm looking at the negative spaces, okay? Now, let's go look at our hip. So the hip moving from here to here. Now we're switching, we're shifting our weights, okay? Not all the way, but here. Wait, did I screw this one up? I think I did. 1 second, guys. This is frame 10, so we should have set the key right here at frame 10. Let me quickly undo this. I forgot to move to frame 10. Let's go back to this pose. Okay. So frame 7, perfect. Frame 10, select all controllers, hit S to set a key. Let's quickly sculpt this. So first thing, select the left foot, sculpt the left foot. So let's go to our heel roll. No, ball roll. Okay, that is about right there, parallel to this guy right here. Let's go ahead and sculpt the body, move it over here. Okay, now all of our weight now is going to be moving in. So we're going to go right here. Okay, select the left foot. Make sure that whatever, this ball roll should be 41, not 40.8. Oh wait, let's go right here. So this looks the same. I'm just going to move forward a little bit. Right there. Okay. Let's go from here to here. There's a knee popping. Okay. You guys see from 7 looks good. And then here at 8, the knee pops. This is really bad. So we're going to fix that by using our left foot toe later on, not now, but later on. What we're going to do is we're going to start the ball roll earlier so that it prevents that popping, okay? But we'll fix that earlier. Okay, later. All right, so I have this pose right here. Now I'm going to move my foot. It's going to go right here. I'm looking at the top part of the foot. Let's go ahead and move this guy over here. Maybe it's going to start to go down. Let's go back to our toe flop, ball roll right here. Okay, I'm looking at the bottom of the foot here and here. Toe flop right here, and this battle skirt is going to move forward like so and up. Okay. So the rotation right here, again, on the Y, the rotation on the Y was 0. Okay. And I'm going to, oops, I'm at frame 8. That was dumb. Okay. I have to go to frame 8 and delete all the keys for the right foot. I messed that up right here. You guys see how you have to pay attention? All right. So toe flop 0. And bull roll, let's bring it back like this. I'll fix the toe flop in a second. I'm gonna move this guy here and then move it down. For the hip, the rotate on the Y is gonna be 0. Okay, and now for this foot right here, I move it back. Toe flop, keep this straight like this. And we may have to move this guy up a little bit more. Obviously, the proportion of this guy's foot compared to the other guy doesn't work. So I'm gonna go from here to here, and I'm gonna look. Let's try this. Here to here to here, okay? So from here to here to here. It feels like from here to here that the foot is slowing down. I'm gonna push this guy up. All right. And now when you do this, also do it on this front view. So from here to here, we got a nice displacement. Here, remember, the hip is going to be flat on the next pose. So this rotation, let's look at this rotation. And I'm talking about the rotation on the X, this guy right here. Okay. So let's look at it. Isolate the curve, go to rotate X, look at the curve, and notice that we have a rotation from here to here. And then the rotation is the same all the way through. Okay. So what I can do right here is, because it's lifting the leg, I can probably move this guy up, select this guy, and then move it up like this. Oh wait, sorry guys, it's the wrong curve. It's the Z, rotate Z. All right. So this guy could go down a little bit more, like this. And notice that when I do this rotation right here, that now my pose has changed. So I need to fix this. I need to move this guy up, which is this pose behind, okay? This guy right here. Okay. So again, scrub. Perfect, okay? Now we're gonna, remember, we're gonna come down. So we're gonna copy this pose right here to pose 14, to frame 14. All right, let's select everything. At frame 10, I wanna make sure that everything got key, so I'm gonna hit S one more time. And I can tell that everything got key because all of the curves end right here. Let's go to frame 14. So frame 14, right? Let's talk about this copying and paste. And then we're going to readjust. Frame 14 is the same as frame 1, but the opposite. So what does this mean? It means that at frame 14, I'm going to select all the controllers and I'm going to hit S so I can create a key. With my auto key, right, I'm going to go to frame 1. I have a drawing pad next to me. I think you guys could hear it. Paper. Okay. What are those silly videos where people listen to and like people like eating or like sanding their nails? What? What happened? Oh, don't tell me why I crashed. No. Okay, not a big deal. ASMR, something like that. Yeah, ASMR. Anyway, some people really believe in that. I think they're hilarious. There's a comedian, what's his name? Kevin something. My God, he made a funny video on that. It's him. He made one called "Eating a Bologna Sandwich." Yeah, that's the one, Noah. All right, guys, let's see what happened. Why did this crash? All right, so let's go to hopefully set project, walk cycle. I'm gonna go to file, open. So we got a pose. Let's see what we have here. And let's go to our animation. Let's go to animation. Okay, so it looks like I lost it all. All right. Do not fear. I'm going to set my poses really fast. I'm going to go to frame 4. Okay. And this is what I was talking about before the crash. I don't know why my recovery did not come up. Not a big deal, guys. All right. We have our half-hour break coming up in 20 minutes. So I will fix this faster than this. Okay. So if I select my my body, okay, I don't worry about the translation. The rotation at frame 1, okay, the rotation on Y is -20. So the rotation at frame 14 is going to be 20, okay? So then I'm going to go to my right foot. My right foot, don't worry about the translation. The movement is different, okay? The ball roll is -46. So for the blue leg, okay, so left leg or left controller, okay, ball roll is going to be 46, right? And for the left leg. So for the right leg, I'm going to have right leg, so right controller is going to have a heel roll of 35. You guys see that? Okay. The body, that's the only thing that I'm going to worry about. Don't worry about the translation. The translation is the movement forward. Okay.
Are you sharing your screen, Professor?
Oh, sorry guys. Here, go outside. Go. My dog can smell bacon a mile away. Okay, so sharing. Okay, so what I did, guys, is I copied the information for the upper body. Don't worry about the translation. The translation is going to be movement forward, and we're not going to worry about that. Here, the only thing that I'm going to do to the body at frame 1, right? It's rotating -20. Therefore, at frame 13, it's going to rotate 20. And then at frame 25, it's going to rotate -20. Does that make sense? At frame 4, it's going to rotate negative. So this is -20, right? Passing pose is going to be straight. Contact pose is going to be 20. Okay, so this is going to be -10. This is going to be 10, and this is going to be 20. All right. Now I'm training my dog to be a zombie killer. So every time now people, my girlfriend's really mad at me. Every time people walk on the street, he just goes crazy. Freeway. Okay, so I'm gonna quickly set up my poses again. So frame 4, select everything, right? And then S to set a key, right? And I'm kind of glad that this happened because I wanna show you guys how fast this is. Okay, let's do this. So I know that my rotation at frame 4 is gonna be -10, okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this guy down. Okay. The left foot, I cannot see it, but I'm going to grab it right here. My left foot heel flop, heel roll is going to be 0. Okay. And then I'm going to move this guy forward so that the weight is on top of this. And on my front view, I'm going to move this body right here. Right. This is where most of the weight is going to go. And I'm going to rotate on the Z. So rotate Z. Let's go ahead and rotate this guy an even number, -10 for now, okay? Let's go -5 for now. All right. Let's work on the right foot. So select the right foot controller. Let's move this guy. What are we going to do? So ball roll. So we had this guy going up, right? We went up. So for toe flop, I think we went to 100, right? Ball roll, we went 0. And I think it was a heel roll. Sorry, heel pivot. No. Okay. So we took this guy, we went up. like this. All right, so I'm gonna go from here to here, here to here. Right foot controller. This was the ball. I want to move the ball like this. The toe flop, I want it to be straight, right? And then I'm going to give it a little bit of a bend. Okay, and then I'm going to select it and then move it up, W. Okay, this guy's going to move forward, trying to match these guys. Look at your negative space, guys. All right, now the rotation is going to be -10 on the Y, which is going to push this guy, because here's going to be 0. And then here's going to be 10. And then 20 over here. That's fine. So for this guy, I need to ball roll like this. Toe flop like this. And let's go ahead and push this guy up, W, like so. Scrub. Okay, I'm going to select this guy right here. Give me 1 second. So I'm going to rotate on the X just to see if I can add something to it. If I rotate on the X, right, it gives me enough to move this guy up and forward. Okay. All right, now let's go to the front and let's do a movement right here. And let's rotate this. Instead of -5, I'm gonna go -10. More of a rotation, which is gonna pull the right leg. I'm gonna save this real quick. I've had really bad experience with crashing. All right, the scrub here to here. No popping, everything looks good. I'm not too worried about the right foot sliding. Okay, so you guys, let me show you guys something really cool right here. Okay, let's talk about, you guys see the, when I scrub this, my toe slides back, okay? So I like to use controllers, locators, create locator, okay? And I'm gonna move this locator right here. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select my right foot controller, and at frame 4, I'm gonna move it forward and move it down like this. Let's scrub it. So this is how far it goes. It's actually not right there, okay. And then at frame 4, right foot controller, move it back a little bit. That's right. Perfect, okay. All right, so use this controller to guide me. All right, perfect, okay. Save this guy right here. All right, let's go ahead and create pose, the passing pose. So the passing pose, this guy has to go forward. Okay, I'm at frame, I'm gonna adjust frame 4 a little bit more right here. Right there, okay. So let's go to frame 7. Okay, so again, select all controllers, hit S, okay. Let's go ahead and save this, okay. So this guy is going to be this frame right here, right? Let's move this guy, oops. Let's move this guy up. Hopefully everybody can see how easy this is right now. Right there. Okay. So things that we know is that our rotation on the Y is going to be 0, right? That's going to make a huge modification on the body. This guy right here is going to move over here. Okay. I want from the knee to the heel to be in the middle. And what I'm going to do is my ball roll. Let me go back to frame 4. Type in 86, round these guys off, 86. Toe flop, let's go 75. Perfect. Okay, I want round numbers. Okay, and then right here, let's go 100. So it's gonna, no, let's go to 90. Okay, I want a little bit of a bend. Okay, and then we're gonna move this guy up like so. Let's go to our ball roll and then roll it back a little bit like this. Now we can give it more of a toe roll. Perfect. All right, I'm gonna push this guy back a little bit. W for move. And now let's go ahead. This will be 110, and this is going to be 100. Perfect. Okay, scrub. I need to move this guy forward a little bit. And maybe up. Okay, did I take care of all of the rotations for the front? So let's go right here. So let's go from here to, yeah, so this should be down. Remember this, we're about to land. Okay, so at frame 1, we're at 0. Frame 4, we are at 1. Okay, type in 1. Okay, so at frame here, we should be, instead of, okay, so half of 1 will be 0.5. Okay, because we're doing this, we're going from here to here to here. Okay, now our rotation of this guy is too much. So we have to rotate this. Rotate on the X is going to be 0. And then rotate here is going to be 0. So this is going to be, no, this is not 0. This is -5, right? Because we're still in the air. It's going to be 0 at frame. Oh, we're doing the passing pose. It's going to be 0 at frame 10. Okay, perfect. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, see that? We're going to the far left, right? Character left, right? And then we're going to bring it up. So here, right? Let's select everything. Set a key, S. All right. So on the up position, okay, I want this rotation to be 0. Now, let's go back to -5. Whoops, not the whole thing, dude. Okay. This is -5 here. This is what? Negative, rotate. Am I doing X? Yeah. Here is what? 1 second, guys. I got myself lost. Okay, here. Boom, here. Let's go rotate. Let's make it 8. And then -10. So this will be rotate on the Y. This is straight because it's a passing pose. This guy is -5. And then here, okay, which is the up position. Let's go -2. We're still lifting the leg up, okay? Or here's negative what? -10. Just -5. Let's type in -7.5 here. Here it'll be -5. And when we land, it's going to be straight. Perfect. Yeah. So you guys can see the rotation here. Okay. So now let's talk about the movement on this direction. Okay. So here is 0. Okay, and that's on our X. Here is 1. Here is half. So here should be, instead of, should be 0.75. Okay, here is 0.5, and then at 14, it'll be 0. Okay, so we have a movement. So from here to here, this is what we've done so far. Okay, so I'm taking care of the hips. That way it's going to give us more room. All right, so let's go right here. So this is the up position. So what happens in the up position? In the up position, which is frame 10, okay? Let's select this guy right here and let's move it back a little bit so we can put him right in front of him. Fantastic, okay? I want you guys to think that I'm copying the right one. All right, so for the up position, okay, blue foot, left controller, okay? We are gonna be dealing with the heel, no, with the ball. So ball, match it to the drawing, okay? Select this guy. This guy's gonna go forward a little bit. And then we're gonna move it up as much as we can. Right there. Remember, next pose, the hip is gonna be just like in frame 1, okay? Just like here. So make sure that you don't give too much of a change. And remember, once we create contact pose 13, we're gonna go backwards and adjust everything. All right, so this guy is gonna go right here. I'm looking at this guy right here. Let's go to our ball roll, hit 0, and toe flop, hit 0. Let's move this guy right here. I'm looking at the upper leg, and now, so at frame 7, the ball roll was 100. Here, let's give a ball roll of 50. That's about right. At frame 7, the toe flop was 110. Here, let's give it 50. That's about right. Don't worry about the snapping of the knee right here. I don't think I've put the rotation on the X. So rotate X here, here, rotate X 8, here, at frame 7, let's go 4, rotate X. Little rotation is gonna help us with the knee. We're gonna keep the rotation here to 2, slight rotation. Let's select this guy right here. Bring it here and let's bring it down. This guy's got the longest feet in the world. And let's just scrub it, boom, boom. Perfect, okay. I like this from this view right here. And let's go now to 14. I'm not gonna worry too much about this right here yet. Okay, select all controllers, S to set a key. This is where we are right here, okay? And I'm pretty much gonna copy the pose. I wrote everything down. So for the right foot, okay, everything is gonna be set to 0. And the heel roll is going to be 46. This guy's gonna be on the ground. So for translate y is 0, okay? I'm just gonna move this here right now for now. Don't worry about everything else. All right, we're gonna set the whole hip to 0 on the rotations. All of the rotations set to 0, okay? Because at this frame right here, frame 1, this guy's about to crash. All right, okay. All right, so if I go to frame 1, the height of this bad Oscar right here is negative, I'm gonna copy it, negative 0.12. Okay, give me 1 second, guys. All right, and here is gonna be the same amount. Cool, okay? And this guy's on the ground and the blue foot is on the ground. So the blue foot, so the left foot, everything is gonna be 0 except for the ball roll, which is gonna be 46. So select left foot, everything is 0, okay? And for the ball roll, we're gonna type in 46. Perfect. So this guy, all he has to do is go like this. I'm looking at the blue foot. Don't worry about anything else. Don't worry about the red foot. And I'm gonna go from frame 14 to frame 1. So look at the extent of the left foot. Now look at it on 14. That means that this guy has to go forward. Now, we know that the rotation on the Y for the main controller, rotate Y has to be 20 because at frame 1 it was negative 20. When I did that, look how much, no pun intended, leg room it gave me. Perfect. Now I'm gonna select my right foot, move it forward until it matches this guy right here. Okay, so the left foot, I have a heel roll of 35. That means that the heel roll, the heel roll of, it's not 46, it's 35, right? Perfect. That means that I can move this guy right there. So now when you guys look at this pose here and this pose right here, notice that they're almost matched. You guys see the angle. I'm gonna see if I can use the grease pencil, ladies and gentlemen, okay? So I'm gonna go to grease pencil and I'm gonna create a new layer. It gives, okay? So I'm gonna draw this guy right here. And then at frame 14, okay, notice that you can match this angle. You guys see that? This angle is identical, as you guys can see, okay? Another thing that I like to do, I like to draw my negative spaces, right? And then make sure that they match the negative spaces right here. And as you guys can see, they do match. You have to train your eyes, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, train your eyes. Boom. All right, I'm gonna clear this guy right here and then clear this guy right here. Okay, so we created our first group of poses. Okay. Go ahead and close this battle square here. And they're not set, they're just poses are done. Okay. I'm looking at the way that, perfect. I'm gonna go to my top view real quick. Sorry, my front view. This guy right here, we need to get rid of the translate on the X. So translate X is going to be 0. That's going to make a big difference. Watch this. Boom. Looking at the rotation. And the rotation on the Y, so select rotate Y for this guy right here. Look at this. So this guy right here goes from here, it rotates. You guys can see this on the top view real quick. Okay, so it goes like this. And then there's no rotation from here to here. From here to here, there's no rotation on the Y. So let's look at the Y rotation. Here, rotate Y is -10. Here is 0. This should be 10. Rotate Y should be 10. Okay. And then here is 20. Yeah. So you guys see that right here? That straight line? Perfect. Okay, now let's see what it looks like on our side view. Fine. Here's fine. How about here? Okay, when I rotated that, it's changed my pose. Okay, which should be this guy right here. So, which means that I can move this guy up a little bit more and forward a little bit more. Okay. Perfect. An up pose. And don't worry about the knee snapping right here. We just have to, we're gonna tweak our left foot so that it starts going up faster, okay? That's gonna be our second pass. Fantastic. All right, so far so good. Okay, I'm gonna look at my translation on the X. Okay, here, our translate X. I'm gonna move it up a little bit. Should have a nicer curve. Because remember, when we're leaning in this direction, we want to maintain the weight and then move it there. Okay, when I did that, did it change my pose? No, the pose looks pretty much the same. I'm going to select this guy and then move it back a little bit. Like that. Distance between the knee and the heel, okay? That looks way better. All right. So what we're going to do here, ladies and gentlemen, is you guys are going to do the same thing that I did here. You guys are going to copy. So this is this pose right here. Okay. So what you guys are going to do is you're going to copy pose from frame 4, right? Which is this pose right here. But you guys are going to mirror everything. So whatever this character is going right here is going to be leaning in the opposite direction. So the trick is whatever the right foot's doing, you guys are going to do it on the left foot. Whatever the left foot is doing here, you guys are going to do it on the right foot, okay? If the body is rotating on the Y -10, it's going to rotate 10 in this pose. Rotate on the Z, which is this rotation like this, okay, it's going to be 10 instead of -10. Wait, E. The rotate on the X, 8, is going to be the same thing. We never look up. So the rotation is always going to be the same. So you're going to select this pose right here. And you're going to put it right here, but it's going to be the opposite. So if it's tilting towards camera right, it's going to be tilting camera left. All right, so it's the complete opposite. So what I suggest you do is that on these guys right here, right, this is what translation, I'm going to round this off to 0.8, -0.8 here. Okay, perfect. And then don't worry about the translate Z is the only one that you're not going to worry about, because the translate Z, we're going to make this a linear movement. Okay, we're going to do this right here. And you guys are going to see that this is almost pretty straight. And I'm going to show you guys a trick on how to make this super straight. You guys are going to select these keys. You're going to delete them. And then we're going to add the keys. So we're going to have a straight line. Because we want the movement of the body to be always going forward the same speed. Okay? It's pretty good. You guys see that? How easy it is to do? Boom. And this took me half an hour to do. Okay. So what I want everybody to do, I want you guys to do these poses for this week. And 14, let me look at schedule. Week 15 is modeling hygiene and anticipated keys and offset keys. And week 16 is turntable and render. Fantastic. Okay. So I'm going to quickly look on the, let's stop sharing real quick. I'm going to look at my chat room, and I'm going to look at the participant room. Okay, at this point, ladies and gentlemen, are there any questions of what I did? Remember, the video is going to be recorded. I'm going to end the meeting as soon as possible so that I can upload it into YouTube and you guys can watch it. Perfect. All right.
Professor?
Yes, sir.
When you say mirror, there's no, we have to do it manually?
Yeah, so I'm going to do the next pose, guys, so you guys can see. I did it already, Han, I did it already with this pose right here. I'm like, where did it go? The chat room was in front of it. So this pose right here, 1, and this pose right here, 14, are the same, but they're mirror. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Watch this. You mean?
I thought you said there's like a, you know, a quick.
Oh, no.
Quick key.
I wish there was a mirror keys, but there's not.
Oh, okay.
There's 1, but it's really bad. So
Yeah.
14 and 1 is the same pose, but mirror, right? So
Yeah.
notice that here, the rotation of the Y is 20. Here is negative 20. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
So what you're going to do, Han, what you guys going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is that the next pose, which is at frame 16, is the same pose as frame 20, but mirror. So the left foot is going to be on the opposite side. It'll be in the back. The right foot will be in the forward. Take advantage of that, right? Go to frame 4, copy the information from the left foot, right? Notice that the left foot is going to be set to 0, right? There's no toe rolls, there's nothing here. But the right foot has a lot of information. Okay, the right foot has the ball roll, the toe flop, and it's got a height, and it went up, okay? So copy those to this foot at frame 16. Yeah. Oh, I made a mistake. Okay, let me show you guys how to fix this mistake. I made the pose on 14 instead of frame 13. So watch this. I'm gonna select all of my controllers, and I'm gonna hold shift, and I'm gonna click on frame 14. And if you guys can see, there are 4 triangles, 2 pointing towards the right, 2 pointing towards the left. The right control triangles stretch your pose, okay? And you don't wanna do that. You wanna hold shift, click on it, and then move the left and right internal triangles. So I'm gonna put all these keys at frame 13. And you guys can see that right here. You guys see that? I made a mistake. I should have put them in 13 instead of 14. All right? But it doesn't change your nothing. Okay? So your mission, if you're willing to take it, is to make frames 16, 19, 22 by mirroring frame 14, 7, and 10. Okay? And then frame 25 is identical to frame 1. It's just that your character is going to be somewhere around here. Okay? Don't look at your image plane as a guidance, okay? Because look how much we've traveled, ladies and gentlemen, from here to 13. See that? So your character is going to probably end up right here. All right? So I'm going to end the meeting. You guys are going to get the recording in a few minutes. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, this recording right now, it's 3 hours long. I have to cut about half an hour that Luke and I had a meeting. It's